Welcome back to another episode of Rolling the Bond. We're here to break down the duels at Daytona that just wrapped up a couple hours ago. To give you my thoughts, this isn't going to be some breakdown, hard, long review. So I want to give you my overall thoughts on the duels at Daytona. Oh, man, it was drama filled. Some of the most exciting duels I've watched in a very, very long time. A lot of storylines, a lot of stuff to take away from this to look forward to the great American race. So getting into Duel 1, there was a lot of stuff that went down this race. A lot of shuffling for the lead, a lot of cars that were shuffling to the front. I wouldn't say, I don't have stats of who led the most laps, but there was a lot of jostling for the lead. And really, I felt like that's how it was pretty much going into their one and only pit stop, which was around, lap 35, closer to lap 40 with 20 to go. And that was kind of how it was. The whole goal was to save fuel while trying to, jostle for position and get yourself in your car in position to get ready to make a pit stop. It was a very joss of numbers, so it wasn't really. So one duel, I think duel one, there was only like 4 Fords, so there wasn't really many Fords in that. So you saw a mix of some team manufacturers coming together, some not. It was really just up for grabs of who came in, because usually, manufacturers like to come in together and work as a team. When it came to open cars in Duel 1, it was really Kaz qualified it on speed. And really, the only two cars that were really going after it were Jimmie Johnson for Lazy Miller Club and J.J. Yeley for Newark Racing. And I thought Johnson was going to be the better car, was going to stay out in front. The New York car didn't really show me speed. I thought he was going to lose the draft. But that was not the case. Johnson really held his own in that first half. And I felt like he was going to, if he just stayed up front, he was going to be good. The New York car just didn't seem like he had the speed. It was able to stay with the draft, but didn't have the speed. But then as we go through green flag pit stops, it jostles through. I felt like Johnson's car was it looked loose, it looked on edge, it looked like Johnson was a handful. But right after they pit, Johnson was leading the Toyota pack, and then, Ty Gibbs kind of bails out Jimmie. Jimmie falls back to this small pack of cars. I guess he radios up and he needs help. He needs a push. He can't ride behind this pack to lose the draft. And that's where it got a little worrying. And that's where we had our one and only caution with Daniel Hemrick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting involved. Looks like Ricky kind of got bumped into Hemrick. That shot Hemrick into the wall, and he came down, and Ricky came down and collected Austin Dillon and Jimmie Johnson. And that was like, oh no, this is bad. Jimmie's wrecking. It didn't look like it did much of a damage, but that's where we were with 10 laps to go, and that's where it got really interesting between J.J. Yeley and Jimmie Johnson. Now, this was J.J. Yeley's shot, because J.J. Yeley, I think, after the pit cycles, he was like 10 plus seconds back, and he was, I thought he was done for. But due to this caution, it's reset the field. Johnson did pit with some new tires on, and it was just a war between those cars in the last couple of laps. Back and forth. J.J. Yeley cutting on Jimmie. They're battling hard. I was worried. I thought, man, Jimmie Johnson's going to lose his race. He doesn't have any help. He's in the back of the pack. He needs some car to push him. And meanwhile, we're having a battle for the lead with Tyler Reddick battling up there with Kyle Larson. Tons and tons of battle. And we're coming down to the white flag. We got Jimmie Johnson Jimmie Johnson is behind J.J. Yeley, and he has no cars behind him. And then we got the battle for the lead. If we start off with the battle for the lead, I'll go down the backstretch for the final time, and Tyler is right behind Larson. He gets a good run. The outside line gets a good run. He makes a move on Larson, cuts down below him, gets side by side, has the momentum, and clears Larson, my apologies. And that's really the race. Reddick stays out front, blocks both lanes fine, and takes home the win. And then when that's happening, Jimmie Johnson was able to get a run where J.J. Yeley, the outside line's kind of stacked up, and Yeley chose to go and use the momentum he had to go around Ross Chastain, but their momentum was not enough. He kind of stalled out, and he was pretty much in the third lane by himself, and that's where Johnson, better in the experience of Jimmie Johnson, stayed in that lane where that J.J. Yeley was, and was able to draft off Ross Chastain, keep the momentum, and he was able to pass him near the line and Johnson locked himself in. It was a crazy, crazy ending. Very eventful. I mean, I always thought, man, this would have been a bad look for Jimmie Johnson if he did not make this race and lost to a small team. And you were racing. They would have lost to a team that had a driver that just found out he was going to race this car this week, right? So, but luckily he made it through. I mean, Carvana was sponsoring him. The Creed, the band was sponsoring him. Was able to survive and make it into the 500, and also Tyrek wins the dual whole start in row 2 for the 500. That was an exciting race. Now we get into duel 2. To me, it kind of played out the same. McDowell was the pole because he led the outside. It was the outside row. It was the same thing. We had a lot of Johnson in the lead, a lot of cars. We had Kyle Busch, Dan Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney in this pack, Bubba Wallace. The 2 open cars were BJ McLeod for Live Fast Racing and the Front Row Motorsports car. And I felt like it was the same type of style. Johnson for the lead. They kind of waited until their pit cycle where there was groups, Fords, Toyotas, Chevys, maybe a mix of Fords and Toyotas. It was really just a petty. There wasn't enough cars to really care so much about the alliances. It was just whoever you were with, go with them. Hopefully you get out of pit road and stay together. That was also the goal. We saw a couple of speeding penalties from Ross Chastain, bad pit stops from Danny Reagan. And I felt like BJ McLeod, he was unsponsored. Didn't have a black car. He was up front. There was a time where he was battling up front, like third, I think the quickest. The closest he got was second. And Kaz Gralla, who was in our 36 Front Row Motorsports car, was on the tail end of the lead. It didn't look like he was really going to have. Man, is BJ McLeod going to qualify against a Front Row Motorsports, which Front Row Motorsports just announced that they're going to be a Tier 1 team with Ford and with a Team Penske Alliance, which is big news. This would have been big. But then there was a little jostling for the leads. They pit. And we're getting closer. We're probably 13, 14 laps to go. And then we have this massive, massive wreck. The big one in the tri-oval. To me, breaking it down really quickly, it looked like Byron got loose or Blaney got pushed. Byron got him up the track, got him loose. He slew up big time. And then you had a kind of a checkup where Busch was checking up, and then Brad wasn't checking up quick enough. Bumps into Kyle. Kyle's really trying to check up, but Byron's going too slow. He bumps into Byron. Byron comes down, hits, right hooks Blaney in the wall hard. I mean, a massive hit for Blaney. Huge Blaney. Cars going everywhere. Busch involved. Noah Gragson involved. Byron involved. Bunch of big, heavy hitters that were taken out in this race. After this wreck, Blaney was very, very pissed off at the drivers for making bad blocks, bad decisions. See, I felt like it all started with Byron and Blaney getting after it, and that's the reason that everything's happened. A lot of people were blaming Brad because he's done this stuff. He's been the aggressive guy at the plate tracks. He's been known for causing big wrecks. But, and also, you can also blame the spotter. So we won't blame the spotter at Brad. He didn't tell him to check up enough. He didn't check out quick enough. It really sticks because now a lot of these cars are going to go to a backup car. If I do have Bob Hawkins did post a list of cars that were involved and what cars are going to backup car. Blaney and Busch and Gragson and Daniel Hemrick to backup cars. Daniel Hemrick was wrecked out in duel 1, so he'll go to a backup car. Keselowski, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Riley Herbst, and Justin Haley, teams will repair their primary, so Brian didn't get involved. He was involved in the wreck, but had not as much damage. So I'm not sure if you're making repairs, buying repairs, if you'll have to go to the tail end of the field. I don't exactly know. I would think, but maybe that's only if you're replacing a part, not a body panel. We'll see with that. And then it kind of came down to the last couple of 10 laps of Hamlin was up front. It came down to kind of Hamlin and Bell in that race. And we're coming down the white flag. Bell has a big run in Hamlin. Hamlin makes a block but misses it bad. But Bell was able just to take the lead quick. And then you had a massive run with Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton. It looked like Harrison had a run, but then Cindric kind of bailed on Harrison, his alliance teammate with Blue Brothers Racing and Team Penske, and then that kind of sealed it up. And while that's happening, we're having this battle between BJ McLeod and Cass Grau, and it kind of came down to the photo finish side by side, but Cass Grau was able to edge out BJ McLeod, and it would have been cool to see BJ McLeod get into the race. That would have been really, really unique story because he's a really good guy, cool dude. But Front Row Motorsports gets him down in the 36 car. But I felt like the duels were eventful. But the one thing I would say, the negative, is I felt like we're just, in the both first halves of these duels, it's all about saving fuel. Everyone just isn't making moves because they're all trying to save. Because the goal was, when they go down and pit, is to take the least amount of fuel as possible so they can get out there quick enough and not waste too much time. So we were just all waiting for that. Kyle Busch was really mad about that whole situation. But then when no one was saving, the racing was unbelievable. The runs people were getting, I'm not sure if it's just less cars that allowed it, but there was some great racing. I mean, this energy, the excitement during these duels were awesome. There was a good crowd on hand. I thought Fox did a great job. Overall, these duels were good. I will come out with the official. We'll break down the starting lineup. I'll give you my picks and my thoughts and opinions on how this race could play out and who the contenders could be. The duels were great. I'm excited. Can't wait. I thought Kevin Harvick did a great job in Fox. He's a great addition. But besides that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about all the racing this past Thursday. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.